Doesn't the off-roading look absolutely crazy? Because I am right now at Adventure Square, which is a private off-road track, and I can simply get out of the car. The car will continue to run because obviously this car is right now on 4 low. So I'm just going to steer it on 4 low. Obviously it will not stall. It's a manual, but it will just keep going very effortlessly. The Gurkha is super capable. What an amazing car. This is basically the Desi G-Wagon, and it is driving itself. So self-drive first happened with the Force Gurkha, and I'm just going to turn it off, and there it will stop on its own. What a machine. Let's start this vlog. This is the new Force Gurkha, and it is a big step up when compared to before, and the big change happens to be in the engine bay. So we are going to try and open it because it's super duper. Oh my god, where is it? Yeah, oh my god, I can't lift it. It's that heavy. It's oh my god, this is crazy heavy, yeah. In freaking sane. So that is the engine which gets more power now. Yes, the performance is dramatically improved here. The engine bay seems a bit dirty right now, and some vibrations can be seen as well. Okay, this is a Mercedes derived engine. I love the fact how they've tried to insulate the engine with this particular covering there. There's insulation all across, obviously. Lot of information written right there as well. And if you notice, washer fluid goes in right here, but only for the front wipers. And when I shut this, my goodness, the sound that came was absolutely crazy. This Force Gurkha is an old school off-road vehicle, and it needs the right tires to take on the toughest of terrains, and that's where the Apollo Aptera 82 tires come into the picture, as they offer high precision control and maximum comfort on all types of terrains, be it on-road or off-it. The Apollo Aptera 82 tires help you unleash the true potential of your SUV. They are very durable tires. Check the link in the description to know more. Coming back to the Gurkha, it says Gurkha right here at the front. Around the grille area, you get this DRL. This is the low beam. This is the high beam fog lamp, not LED. It gets the cornering function as well. And obviously, the angles have improved too. You can see that right here. Oh my god. This is the Mercedes G-Wagon.
What?
On a budget. The indicators continue to be here like the Mercedes G-Wagon. In fact, attention detail is so crazy. It says Gurkha here on the inside with that particular knife also right there. So that's super duper cool. And obviously, this is the 3-door model, which means that the wheelbase is shorter by 485 mm. The 5-door has a 485 mm longer wheelbase because of the additional doors and additional seats as well. This is one of the few cars in the world to get a factory fitted snorkel. Yes, that is amazing. This is factory fitted. In fact, you can hear some sound coming out from here, sort of a hissing, because it's pulling in air. Now this particular thing on the front windshield is actually an accessory. I think the roof rails are also an accessory, and the ladder at the back is also an accessory. But these are mandatory accessories is what the dealer has told me. So I don't even understand how that works. But accessories are mandatory. They should be part of standard equipment. If they are mandatory, if you have to pay for it, you anyways pay for it. But whatever. Ground clearance has improved finally. And the tire size is also bigger now. 18 inches here. 255, 65, 18. Alloy wheel design is actually quite nice. But I sense some amount of rusting here and there. But I've taken it off-road as well, so I believe it's got a little dirty and mud is somewhere splashed all over the place, which couldn't be washed. That is the suspension. Well, there is revision there as well, which we'll talk about when we take this car off-road, which is in this very video itself. FM 2.6 CR, 2.6 liter common rail. Oh my god, indicator placed here. That is actually a bulb. Alright, I find some rusting here, so there is some amount of rusting here and there. Meanwhile, no keyless entry, no push button start, none of that. 4x4, basically 4-wheel drive system into 4 for all the various 4 types of terrains. And this is where diesel goes in on the right side. Meanwhile, I got super scared of this dog. Where did this dog land up from?
Good morning. How are you?
Now, let's talk about the rear tail lights, okay? So, this is the brake light, this is the rear fog, this is the indicator, and this is actually for the reverse light. It says Force here, BS6 obviously. Spare wheel is full sized and tailgate mounted, which is quite cool. You get 4 parking sensors here. You obviously get a reflector treatment here. I think this is a dummy. That is the towing hook, which is quite robust. That's a step up. And there's a ladder here, which you can climb. Yes, doggy, how can I help you? Don't disturb me, please. I'm really scared of dogs. Please go away. Anyways, there's a high mounted stop lamp, and there is the rear wiper of the vehicle. So we're going to step inside, and hopefully the dog does not climb inside. So everything feels very, very robust. And washer fluid here for the rear wiper. So there are 2 separate boxes for the washer fluid. Okay, doggy, you can leave now, or I'll just get inside and say bye-bye. 500 liters of storage space here. So yes, the 3-door has more space. And there's a handle to hold on to. For whom is this car made? For people in Rajasthan? Probably. Now, the seats are all captain seats in this car. Meanwhile, the 5-door actually has a bench seat in the center. But to access the last row, you have to actually get in from the rear, which is not that convenient, especially if you're old and not that athletic. This seat does not go ahead and fold, which is usually the case in such type of cars, like in the Thar it is. And let me put this armrest down. Space in the second row is decent. I think the seat is pushed all the way back, but yeah, it's not that great actually, because yeah, legroom and knee room is not the best. Under thigh support is also not the best, and you actually get two USB-A charging sockets right here with an illumination too, magazine pockets on both the sides, and a handle to hold on to. Window is a bit on the higher side, so your eye level is actually hitting somewhere here, although the window is really long. And seat belts are obviously given here. No height adjustable seat belts at the front, although I think there is room for doing that as well. The dashboard actually is very rugged, but some panel gaps here and there can be found obviously. Meanwhile, it has the Gurkha logo on the seat as well, and obviously adjustable headrest in this car. In fact, you've got a light on the top as well, which is a good thing for sure. So I'm just going to turn it on right now. White color one. Same is the case here as well. You get a white color light in the center, which you can pair to when the door opens. Now, getting in and out, like I was telling you, is not the easiest. Thankfully though, you can actually adjust this seat. So yeah, there I can recline it a lot. That's a lot of recline. So in case you want to rest like this, you can do it. Obviously your eye level will reduce while having the seat recline, so you have a better view of what's around, because this window is like really long. Isofix child seat mounts here, but no cup holders. Yeah, there are no cup holders here at all, but you can keep your mobile phone in this pocket obviously. Let me put this back. Thankfully though, you have also got armrests which go further down all the way. Yeah, so you can adjust it as per your liking. And let me get out from here. Is that a cup holder? No, that's not the cup holder. That's actually for when, okay, I need to push this. Yeah, you have to be really strong to operate anything in this Force Gurkha, because this car is rugged. I think this is the jack, this is the warning triangle, this is the tool for putting the car on the jack obviously. So the whole toolkit is lying here and there, I feel. And yeah, it has got speakers as well. What is this? If I pull this, something opens on the other side, which happens to be none other than, so yes, AdBlue is separate from where the fuel goes in. So that's a bit of a difference here. Force does things quite uniquely, I would say. Let me shut this and try and climb this ladder. And you have got roof rails. Yeah, it's a very tall car. Super duper tall, this car, which is crazy obviously. Meanwhile, it just looks so amazing because of the stance. 5-door definitely looks better, I feel. And good amount of ground clearance, very robust, all-terrain tires here. So amazing, but you get rear drums, no rear discs in this car, which is a bit unfortunate. Meanwhile, no ADAS function, none of that is given, doesn't need it, because this is all about being old school and rugged. So straight away, let's get inside. You don't have to put the key inside to unlock the car, because you can just unlock it using this button on the key. Door pockets are really very slim here. Tells you information about the differential system, tells you information about AdBlue here. You get a dead pedal as well, and pardon the dirt, because obviously this car is always off-road only. Some storage space here. These are the controls for the outside rear view mirror adjustment, which is electric. You can shut the AC vents like this, which is nice. And there's a grab handle here so that it's easier to get in, and there's a side footstep also, because you have to really climb inside. Says Gurkha here. Seats are nice and comfortable at the front, which I quite like. This thing is illuminated, the key ring, so you exactly know where you're putting the key. It actually has the Gurkha logo here, and this is to unlock the car, this is to lock the car, this is to turn on the indicators. Yeah, it's a nice key. Let me put this inside and let's climb. Alright, the steering is not that impressive, because this steering kind of reminds me of other Force models, specifically speaking the Force Trax Cruiser. Yeah, it's a very big steering, sort of a bus or a van steering wheel. No audio controls here obviously, and this is a new screen here. Before that, let me show you the glove box, which is decent size, but it's a bit flimsy, and there's some panel gaps here, but this is lockable. You get 2 airbags in this car. Gurkha logo has been placed here along with some storage space right there, and power window controls in the center. 1 touch down for both the front power windows, but there are no power windows at the rear. There are no windows which can roll down at the rear, but in the 5-door, all of them actually roll down with 1 touch, but they don't roll up with 1 touch. This is for the differential lock, this is for the front diff lock, this is for the rear diff lock. It's not the easiest to operate, so you really have to pull it and then twist it. It takes some effort. Let me push the steering back inside, because why is it not going? Yeah, it's a bit of an effort, so I'm going to use both my hands right now. There, so it's a bit jammed if I may. But the thing is, this car has got adjustable steering, both for reach as well as rake. And just notice one thing, okay, I'm going to turn on the car. I have actually turned on the ignition. It takes some time for the car to power up. The Gurkha logo comes here and then comes the tachometer, which is cool. This thing takes its own sweet time. That's the 3-door Gurkha. It's an Android based system. It's an aftermarket system, so it's not very impressive as such. Now it's going to say Android and it's going to turn on tomorrow. Now you get a tire pressure monitoring system here. This is for the engine temperature. That is for the fuel meter. This is for the AdBlue. And right now we are in power mode. Otherwise, when you are not in power mode, it tells you the eco mode indicator. Fully digital cluster, which is good because it's easy, and it has got twin trip meters. That's about it. Not much there inside. Meanwhile, this particular screen is also slick to use. I mean, it's decent. The audio system in this car is actually decent considering the aftermarket system. And then there are a lot of apps. Firstly, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity is there, but unfortunately it does not work. And since this is an Android based system, it has got Google Maps, but I don't know how it's going to connect to the internet, because YouTube definitely does not work. When I turn it on, it just does not give me anything. It just says it's not connected or something. See, you without Google Play services you can't do. I think maybe you have to take some services and then you can obviously use it. So it has got some apps right here, and that's about it. Yeah, it's not a very sophisticated system. I've been using Bluetooth here. Could not connect Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, unfortunately. Here you get a 12-volt charging socket, which I've been using, and there are two USB-A charging sockets. I think one of them will connect to Apple CarPlay, but I'll be honest, I'm not too sure. Lot of physical buttons here. This is for regenerating the AdBlue. This is for the stop start system. This is for the front fogs, rear fogs. This is for the hazard lights, and this is for the eco mode, and this will tell you if the passenger airbag is on. Physical controls for the air conditioning, which works really well, which I like. Obviously, there's some cubby hole here to keep your stuff just in case. Storage space here, storage space here, storage space here. You can keep your phone here. So there's a lot of space, obviously, but you have to adjust this all the time, because when you want to activate the seat belt, then this needs to be up, and when you want to drive like a cool person, this thing needs to be down, because then only you can access the gear lever. And here you get a new switch for the 2 high, 4 high and 4 low modes. Otherwise there was this lever. Now this is shift on the fly, which is a fantastic thing. Now obviously there are a lot of hard plastics in the cabin, but the overall quality of the cabin is good. The wipers work decently well too, and you get no mirror here, but this sun visor is actually quite long. Well, that's what she said, and there's no mirror there either. There's no auto dimming mirror. So in terms of features, this car is not very well loaded. It doesn't have to be, but when compared to before, yes, Force has given it a lot more features when compared to before, but when compared to the Thar, it definitely misses out on certain features. First and foremost, this screen is not a native system. It's aftermarket, so it's not very fluid. And let's get into reverse, which means I pull this and push it like this. We get into reverse, but the reverse parking camera is no longer working, so something has gone amiss somewhere. I don't know. Air conditioning is actually a chiller, which is a good thing. And straight away, I'm going to get out of this car and show you a few other things which I missed. Before that, let's try and understand how loud is this vehicle. So we are around, no, oh my god, it is getting a bit loud, but I think I need to close the door because sound is coming from the outside as well. Now let's see how loud this car is on the inside. Old school diesel engine. Okay, I'm talking, that's why it's moving. Okay, I'm going to shut up. Around 50 decibel, which is not bad, but my voice is like really loud, which I can see right now. I can feel it. But yeah, 50 decibel. I'm going to be doing it with almost all the cars, so we can have a benchmark of sorts. Meanwhile, the length is under 4 meters. Yeah, it's slightly under 4 meters, the length of this car, but because of the big engine, obviously it does not get any tax benefits or so. And when I come to the rear, I also realize that you have this Gurkha plaque right here. Yeah, that badging has been given in so many places. Where is the reverse parking camera? How could I miss it? That is the reverse parking camera. It's hidden right here like a Chintu Mintu camera, and there you can see the underbody. It's a very rugged car, and you get these mud flaps with the Force badging. I love the fact that how Force has given it so much branding almost everywhere. But how is it to drive? Let's start driving right away. So we will start the drive experience by taking the car off-road. Takes a few seconds for it to start, and straight away into first gear, handbrake down, and off we go. I think the sound is coming because of the tire pressure. One of the tires is having less pressure because I've been driving it off-road, and when you hit an off-road patch of road like this one, you immediately realize that the ride can be a bit uncomfortable because the car does move around quite a lot, and that's also because of the heavy weight of the vehicle. I'm trying to use the washer spray. The washer spray is actually not working, which is kind of disappointing though, and we are straight away going to take it off-road. First and foremost, I'm driving it in two-wheel drive mode right now because I don't think I need to put it into four-wheel drive yet. Yeah, a lot of water being sprayed all over the place, and now we are going to speed up because there's so much more water to spray. Oh my god, can you even see anything? That is the fun of driving off-road. You can spray as much as you like. Okay, this DEF sound will shut in a bit, but the car is super duper rugged. Yeah, this is the Desi G-Wagon without a doubt, and I just think I should just take a right here. Oh my god, rear wheel drive, so rear is losing itself a bit, and then you see the amount of, oh my god, the kind of water it has to wade through. It does it so comfortably purely because this car has crazy water wading capacity of 700 mm. Slush flush, no problem at all. The smoothness with which this car drives is just unbelievable. Yeah, I am quite enjoying the experience of driving the Gurkha, and now we are going to come through this decline, which means slow and steady. No, yeah, no slow and steady, because this car takes everything in its stride effortlessly. It just goes, and it goes so easy and beautifully well that you don't have to stress at all. That is the beauty of the Gurkha. It is just amazing off-road. So my earlier complaint with this car was the ground clearance. Ground clearance was quite low, but they have now increased the ground clearance by giving it bigger 18-inch wheels. Earlier the wheels were 16 inches, so now we have 18-inch wheels along with the bigger wheels. This car, okay, there is a sort of a traffic jam here. People have come for an ATV ride, and straight away I don't want to accelerate because I'm going to spray some water on people who are doing an ATV ride here. Should we just climb here? We can climb anywhere we want. So I'm just going to stop here, and I am going to come into 4 low. So let's engage 4 low. 4 low has been activated, and we are going to go through this decline. So with 4 low, obviously things are super effortless in this car, and the ground clearance has been increased from 205 to 233 mm. How is that possible? Revised front independent suspension, and they have also moved the front control arm a bit higher, because of which obviously the ground clearance has improved, and because of the better ground clearance, this car doesn't touch anywhere like it used to earlier. So that's a good thing for sure. Finally the warning sound is turned off because AdBlue is less in this car. But anyways, we are going to climb from here and just see how effortlessly the Gurkha does all this. Yeah, it does move around quite a bit, but then it manages all this without much effort. A little bit throttle here. Yeah, actually I'm putting a lot of throttles, and there we have climbed up. Just amazing how the Gurkha does all this. Yeah, it's mind-blowing how easy the Gurkha is actually to drive, even though it's a manual now, but still I find it extremely easy to drive, and then very rugged as well, which is absolutely amazing. So we are going to try and climb this one, which can be a little bit of a tough job, especially with my approach, which is kind of wrong right now because I'm trying to get in from here. No momentum, but come on Gurkha, you can easily climb this. And yeah, and there. This car is just mind-blowing in terms of the off-road ability. Obviously I'll do an on-road test as well, but first we will see how is the car off-road, because that's this car's natural habitat. And you're coming down from here, super effortless. Yeah, no stress at all, and manages all this like without any fuss whatsoever. Yeah, 4 low is just amazing obviously. But now we are going to come to a halt because I'm actually going to come into 2-wheel drive mode. So yeah, let it engage. 2-wheel drive mode activated, which means we are on rear wheel drive mode, and now I can throttle it hard because it does have a lot of power, but it's not going to spin the wheels and lose traction at all. I love splashing the water here and there. The ruggedness is just mind-blowing, and then more water. Oh my god, I can't see anything ahead, so you're just going to decrease the speed a bit. Yeah, the Gurkha is very rugged. Yeah, it's extremely rugged and very capable of the road, because firstly it's a body on frame platform, and other than the body on frame platform, it is traditionally rear wheel drive. You have 4 low ratio transfer case, you have 4 high as well. Okay, we will just go through this, which is a side incline test, and oh my goodness, look at this car go. So the suspension improvements definitely can be felt here, because the car obviously feels better in terms of the way it absorbs bumps. And there we are up again. A turning radius is a bit much, even though this is the 3-door. For the 5-door it will be a lot more. I don't even have to look where I'm going because I know this car can just go anywhere. Yeah, now it's spinning. Okay, we're losing traction, which means I have to get onto the throttle to climb this particular. Okay, we are in second now. This car is super capable. It has front locking differential, rear locking differential, but you rarely need to use it because this car will not really get stuck. Now obviously a differential will really help when you get stuck, and it tells you exactly what you need to do. Don't use it while turning the differential. Obviously use it only when you are stuck, so it will ensure that it gives power to both the wheels in equal proportion so that you are able to get out of any sort of hindrance. This is so amazing. Yeah, this car is just so much fun to drive off-road. I'm really enjoying it. But now it's time to actually get into 4 low. So we're going to stop here and 4 low activated. It's going to take some time for it to activate. Come on, activate 4 low. So like I was telling you, it's a very okay, we are in 4 high now. It's going to come to 4 low activated. And now let's put one wheel up because that is where one wheel actually goes up. If I take it slow, there's a chance I might get stuck, but I am going to just drive it like, oh my god. See, I took it slow and I kind of got stuck there, so we're going to take it into reverse. So technique also matters a lot off-road, but the kind of angles it's doing now, it's just crazy. And let me also tell you one very important thing. I've driven the Jimny through all these conditions and obstacles, and the Jimny feels slightly better because the ride is better there, but this feels so much more rugged. This is a car which feels that it's not going to get stuck no matter what, and it stays true to that. Just amazing. Yeah, this is just amazing. The off-road ability of this car is mind-blowing to say the least. So now I'm actually going to come into first gear because we are going to go through some of these obstacles here. If I don't keep the momentum up, I might just get stuck, but it is so comfortably going through all this. It's unfreaking believable. Yeah, I do have to throttle a little bit into second gear, and what an absolute fun car to drive, which means that I should just change the drive mode right now. And we have come into 4 high because we can. So 4 high getting activated, and I'm just going to get into reverse right now, and we are going to now try and go for newer obstacles. Like there's an obstacle ahead. I don't know how the car is going to climb, but because there is so much fog inside, I had to actually turn on the air conditioning as well, so this stabilizes a bit. Should we climb for here? Of course we can, of course we will. And there goes the car. Yeah, it is unbelievable. So what they have done is they've increased the ground clearance of this car. Okay, we are going into no man's land. I am going to come out from here. So because they have increased the ground clearance of this car now, the approach angle, the departure angle, the breakover angle has also improved here. Yeah, all these things have also improved right now, because of which this car has become even more capable off the road. In fact, compared to the 5-door, this car has a better breakover angle because it has a shorter wheelbase, and because a shorter wheelbase is definitely better in terms of I don't know where I'm going, but a shorter wheelbase is definitely better in terms of breakover angle. This car doesn't touch at all. I'm quite surprised. The older one used to touch in a lot of places. This one definitely does not touch anywhere whatsoever. So yeah, big improvement on that front. And now it's time to throttle and splash some water because I can. And there we go. The water weighting capacity is unbelievable because it is a mind-blowing 700 mm, all thanks to the snorkel in this car. What an absolute joy this car is to drive. I can't see anything ahead, but now it's the time to drive this car on the road. There's a gypsy here. Everyone is smiling because obviously this is such a capable and fun car that people are like, wow, he's actually making full use of the Gurkha here. Now the track I'm driving on is Adventure Square, which obviously is an amazing place to do off-roading. It's near Ambi Valley City. Now it's time to drive this car on the road, which means into first gear, handbrake down, hazard lights off, revving the motor. Listen to this, guys, okay? Quite the wheel spin because obviously it's rear wheel drive mode right now. Otherwise, when you get into 4-wheel drive mode, obviously it's not going to spin any of the wheels. The difference here is that this car feels dramatically better on the road because of the updated suspension system, and obviously because of the engine, which has a lot more grunt now, dramatically more grunty engine, because power is increased by 49 horsepower. Meanwhile, the torque is up by 70 Newton meters. So the earlier engine used to produce 91 horsepower and 250 Newton meters, which was quite inadequate for a car this heavy. But now it produces 140 horsepower and 320 Newton meters from the 2.6 liter Mercedes sourced / Mercedes derived engine, which basically is very old school because it is noisy, it is obviously not the way usually diesel engines are nowadays, because engines have a lot of grunt in the top end as well. This finishes all its work by 3500 rpm because it doesn't rev past that only, so it revs very less. And thing is, low end is good, mid-range is decent, top end is not there here at all. So this is not a car you would like to drive fast, but if you try to drive fast now, you will not be disappointed. I took this car I think to 150 kilometers per hour, which I believe is the top speed of this car, and trust me, it gobbles up the kilometers with utmost ease because of the better ride quality and the potent engine. In fact, Force had a 140 horsepower Gurkha earlier. The previous Gurkha's predecessor actually had 140 horsepower, but then they brought the power down to 91 horsepower because of emission norms. That was a 2.2 liter diesel engine. This is a 2.6 liter diesel engine, and the engine is fantastic. It has the character, it has the feel, and you definitely feel like you're driving something very special because you're seated so high up. I cannot put myself down because there is no height adjust here. You can only move the seat ahead and behind. Meanwhile, if you notice the tire pressure monitoring system, there it is. It does have a mind of its own at times, because yesterday when I was taking this car off-road, now this car's TPMS went for a toss. It was showing me puncture on one tire and all that, but I can't blame the car because at times I was only on 3 wheels, and you can take all the bumps in the stride without any issue. Only thing is, yeah, it does move around quite a bit. So ride has improved. However, the vertical movement is still there because that's something which is inherent with a body on frame platform car. So it does move around quite a bit. Vertical movement is there, side to side movement is also there. And when you hit a bump, there is this kickback from the steering wheel as well, very much similar to what was there on the Renault Duster. So you have to fight the steering at times. So that's another bit of an issue. But you know what? The headlights are super cool in the sense that at times now, when you are why do we go right or left? Okay, we just go right. Yeah, so at times when you give an indicator and the main lights are not on, the DRL will shut. I don't know what is the logic behind that, but that also happens. Around the corner, obviously there is a lot of body roll. There's considerable body roll because this is a very top heavy vehicle. The height is a lot, because of which when I was doing side angle tests and all na, I was like, abhi to girne wale hain, ab to marne wale hain, kyunki ye slide ho jayegi. But nahin, nothing of that sort happens. The only thing is this car has no electronics, so there's no traction control, there's no downhill assist, there's none of that, which makes this car very raw, which is actually a very good thing, because then you have the feel, and that feel really helps because it makes this car so much enjoyable to drive. The gearbox is not the slickest to shift. The clutch is definitely light, but the gearbox, okay, listen to this, okay? The gearbox does make some sound. I don't think you can hear it, but now you hear it. When I am shifting the gears, I can hear the sound to a certain extent. Yeah, it becomes a bit noisy, the gearbox, because it is not the slickest of shifters, and then there is obviously some notchiness, and the throws are also on the longer side. So those are slight issues which I face here. Meanwhile, if I press eco mode now, it will obviously conserve fuel, and that conserving of fuel also comes with a penalty of absolutely no power. It feels very dull down in eco mode, doesn't feel grunty enough, but gives you better efficiency. I think it will return around 10 to 12 kilometers per liter, which is quite respectable if you ask me, considering the weight of this car and considering all the hardware it is carrying. That is very good fuel efficiency, and in eco mode I think it will be better by 2 kilometers per liter, because there is a definite dull down in terms of performance. You can feel the performance isn't that great. It just feels very lackluster, doesn't move that fast. But then when you get out of eco mode, my goodness, it feels punchy. And the best thing is, if you shut eco mode, it will always be shut. It will always be in power mode. There is no normal mode. Either you are eco or you are power. There is no middle ground here, which is a beautiful thing here. I know a lot is inspired from Mercedes-Benz. In fact, the press release states that this car has been inspired from the Mercedes G-Wagon. They actually write it in the press release, which is just amazing. What a way to sell the Gurkha by saying that this is a mini G-Wagon. However, Mercedes has no problem with Force Motors going ahead and making a replica of their famous G-Wagon. But the Germans have a big heart. Unfortunately, the Americans don't have it, because Jeep does not let Mahindra sell the Thar in any other country except India. Wherever Mahindra has tried to sell the Thar, like they tried in Australia recently, they immediately put a court case on them, legal case on them, saying no, you cannot do this. So yeah, definitely the Germans have a bigger heart. Actually, the thing is now Force Motors is having a big partnership with Mercedes since a long time. They're manufacturing engines for Mercedes. They're also doing it for BMW. And for a small time manufacturer like Force Motors, this car is unbelievable. Just to put it into perspective, and this is going to hurt Mahindra fanboys, so I'm sorry about this, but a small time car maker, not even a car maker, this company is about making commercial vehicles, and they do a great job. If you go north, if you go to Kashmir, if you go to Assam, if you go to any of those regions, Ladakh and all, you will see that Force Motors completely dominates those regions with the tracks and obviously the Tempo Traveler. However, the issue is that they are a very small company in terms of passenger cars, because Gurkha is the only passenger car, all others are commercial. Yet a small company is able to beat a big fat company like like Mahindra when it comes to launching a 5-door off-road vehicle, because the 5-door version of the Gurkha has come before the Thar 5-door, which is quite surprising. That how did Force Motors pull it off? Well, actually Mahindra is just being lazy and taking people for granted, thinking 3-door big na, what's the hurry? But yeah, the Thar 5-door should have been here, because Force has beaten them big time by bringing the 5-door Gurkha before them. And I honestly like the Gurkha more than the Thar somehow. First and foremost, the ride is better. Secondly, the engine is better, the performance is better, the feel is better. Yes, it doesn't have those creature comforts, and obviously the biggest hiccup is the service network, which is a little bit chintu mintu, because we are here right now around Panvel, okay? So I can't even complain. I'll finish the video fast because meko Panvel nikalna hai, because I'm already in Panvel. The thing is that the nearest Force service center, or at least the one in Mumbai, is at Mira Road. For me, it is more convenient to reach Pune than to reach Mira Road, so that's a bit of a problem. So Force really needs to up its service network, and that will only happen once they start selling more cars. And this car has the potential of selling in good numbers, because it's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, there are minor glitches here and there which could be addressed. There are small issues which, considering the good parts, or rather the positive bits about this car, I can't really complain about. Okay, I want to make a quick overtake. I need to downshift, and then, okay, just check this out. We are in 3rd gear, and that's it. It will not go any further, because the red line definitely comes in at 3,500 RPM, which is quite soon, I would say. Yeah, the engine doesn't really go past that RPM. However, engine becomes very boomy in the top end of the rev range. You don't have to push this car in the top end, because the low end is good. Low end is fantastic. It feels punchy, and it's a car which has the feel. The steering is not the best, because it has some play in the center. So yeah, certain issues here and there, but you cannot complain much about, considering how capable and potent this car is. And now with the better engine, with the better suspension and more features, this is a dramatically improved product. Okay, the price of this particular car is 20 lakhs 41,000 on road Mumbai for the 3-door. For the 5-door, they ask you 1.5 lakhs more, so almost 21 lakh rupees for the 5-door, which is similar to the Thar 3-door, because the 5-door is yet to arrive, and I don't know when the 5-door will arrive, but they are saying it will arrive this Independence Day. Yeah, Mahindra is taking its own sweet time, which is a bit disappointing. I love the fact I see the complete hood while driving. I can even see the roofs of Innovas and Fortuners. That's how tall I'm sitting, which is absolutely phenomenal. This is a car which you would love once you go for a long test drive. So Force Motors needs to make sure that people experience this car, because it's fantastic off-road, but now it's also very good on-road, which is quite surprising, because the old car wasn't that great. It was a bit sluggish, it was not that fast. This one easily maintains 120 kilometers per hour without much effort. Obviously there's a lot of wind resistance, there's some movement here and there as well, but that's expected, considering this is a body on frame platform car with a really big tall height. I don't know what happened to this dude. And yeah, the brakes could be better, because there's obviously some amount of nosedive under heavy braking, so we are going to be testing the brakes right now. And I don't like braking at high speeds, but hazard lights on, and yeah, every time I brake now, something comes out from somewhere. So right now, I think from below my seat, I have just got the toolbox of the car. So that's landed in my hand toolkit. So things slide from the last row all the way to the front row. That's a bit of a problem here. Oh my god, my phone. I can't reach because the cabin is so wide. The cabin is like unbelievably wide. Ah, there we go. Hazard lights off, into 1st gear, revving the motor. Listen to the wheel spins, okay? Even in the wet, the wheel spins are crazy. 27 kilometers per hour in 1st gear. In 2nd gear, it reaches 51 kilometers per hour. And in 3rd gear, it reaches, I think, 80 or something. Let's see where it goes. Yeah, it does 86 kilometers per hour. We are in 4th right now, and I need to change a lane. When you change a lane, you can feel that obviously there is movement. There's a lot of vertical movement, side to side movement as well. By the way, this car has got Force Motors LED Pro Edge lights, which is a nice way of calling LED technology for Force Motors. So they're getting into that field of naming some cool bits to various aspects of their car. Now in 4th gear, and it will top out at, let's see what it tops out at. Yeah, it tops out at 123 kilometers, 125 kilometers per hour. By the way, this car obviously has a speed alarm, but because there's a lot of suspension noise, there's a lot of wind noise and all, because obviously the hood is upright, similar like the G-Wagon, you can't really hear the warnings which are coming on the inside. And I feel they should offer rear discs, because the brakes could be better for sure, considering how potent this engine is right now. But as I see it, I think the Gurkha is going in the right direction. This is a fantastic car. This is not a car which will please everybody. People who want features, ease of driving and all. no, it's not for them. Or people who want an automatic gearbox option, again, not for them. This is a car for people who love driving, who just value the old school charm, and I definitely love the old school charm. Now, I have a Jimny and I like driving it, and I realize the Jimny is so much easier to drive. This car's body on frame platform and weight and everything is obviously a lot tougher, a lot heavier, and everything you can be felt when you go. So it just heightens your feeling of driving it whenever you drive it anywhere. This car is very much livable now. On the road, it's fantastic. Off the road, it is even better. I love the new Gurkha. I would love to buy it, but Force Motors really needs to expand its service network. I can live without a fancy touchscreen. I can live without a lot of other creature comforts, but I cannot live without a nice engine. And now this car has a fantastic diesel engine. Yes, people want an automatic. People want petrol. People want all that. Look elsewhere. If you want something which has the old school charm of the original G-Wagon, the Force Gurkha is really going to put a massive smile on your face. I can't put it in words how amazing this car is. Okay, it has a 63.5 litre fuel tank or so, I believe, somewhere around that. And on that bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching Body on Frame brothers. I love this car. I really truly love this car. Force Motors has done a phenomenal job with the new Gurkha, and I just can't wait to see what they are going to do with the next update, because they have nailed the engine now. They've quite well nailed the design. The design needs no updates. Maybe they should just give it better brakes and maybe a better touchscreen, and that's about it. I keep complaining. Bye.